Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
The FBI has gifted Hillary Clinton with yet another get-out-of-jail-free card, this time by way of a massive data dump on the Friday of a long Labor Day weekend.
Ladies and gentlemen, today the FBI has released the report, a two-part, 58-page report of their investigation into Hillary Clinton's use of a private email server during her time as a Secretary of State. Now, there isn't really any nefarious activity detailed in this report, but it does report on her encounters with the FBI during the investigation, and it also very clearly reports how her staff and herself either were completely incompetent or had a complete disregard for the laws and rules in accordance to the use of an email server and classified information. Now, this full report can be found on FBI.gov. It's a two-part report, 58 pages, and you can go look at this report. There's a lot to be read. It will show you some of the nature of this Hillary Clinton cover-up, but you will also see a lot of this report is redacted, including names that have been redacted from this report. But you can find the full report on FBI.gov.
So we know that more than 17,000 emails were recovered. We know that her server was breached even a month before she left office there as Secretary of State. She did indeed click on a porn phishing scandal. There was a phishing scam, and she actually, it appears that she clicked on it. But she also repeatedly said that she could not recall. She said this so many times throughout the FBI report. I could not recall. I do not recall. Here are just some of the things. She couldn't recall her training that she received on Get This Classified Information. She didn't recall using her power to classify. She didn't recall receiving emails that should not be on her unclassified system. And she did not recall briefings she received when leaving office. And why not? She could not recall because of her fall. All of these things were due to that concussion. And this was what she told the FBI. She did not recall all these briefings that because of this concussion that she suffered in 2012. And she went on further to say she received no instructions or direction regarding the preservation or production of records from the State Department during the transition out of her role as Secretary of State. However, in December 2012, Clinton suffered a concussion and then around the new year had a blood clot in her head. Based on her doctor's advice, she could only work at State for a few hours a day and could not recall every briefing that she received. But you know what? Nothing to worry about here. Having a massive brain injury isn't going to impair her ability to do her job, right? At least that's what the establishment is really trying to make everyone understand. She also went on to tell the FBI that she didn't understand classified intel. So this is what she suggested to FBI investigators in this interview that she had in July. She had little understanding of classified information when she served as Secretary of State. Are you kidding me? She told FBI agents she couldn't remember ever receiving this training, how to preserve the federal records, or how to treat classified material, even though we now know that she signed off on completing the training. So she did indeed take it, but, you know, she had her little head injury. She just couldn't remember a lot of the most important things about her jobs. So here she's sort of setting it up that, you know, due to this injury, she's not guilty. You know, that's where the FBI said that they couldn't prove any intent to do harm. Now, she could not give an example of how classification of a document was determined. Now, of course, this is, you know, not due where she's telling her aides to just strip the classified markings from these materials so that she could send them on her unsecured server. What's more, Clinton said in an email that was central to this investigation. One of these emails involved conversations about a planned drone strike in Pakistan. This didn't raise any red flags for her when she was transmitting this highly classified information over her unsecured server. Clinton stated, deliberation over a future drone strike did not give her cause for concern regarding classification. Are you kidding me? That would be of the utmost classification level. Here you are not only undermining military efforts, but possibly putting people's lives in danger if indeed your computer is hacked, which we now know, thanks to these recovered emails, she did indeed believe that her server was hacked, and we know that it had been as well. Also, Hillary Clinton lost cell phones with classified emails. Now, this is Breitbart News reporting that she lost several mobile telephones carrying emails from her private server during her time in office. Huma Abedin and another former aide indicated the whereabouts of Clinton's devices would frequently become unknown once she transitioned to a new device. On other occasions, a staffer would destroy Clinton's old mobile phones by breaking them in half or hitting them with a hammer. And this is all very important because when you're destroying phones, that obviously indicates that you are well aware that there is sensitive information contained on these devices. So just to remind everyone, federal law prohibits the unauthorized transfer, storage, or destruction of classified information. Federal Records Acts likewise prohibit the destruction of government documents, which would have included work-related emails on Clinton's server and mobile devices. So here indeed, she did break federal law, but for whatever reason, James Comey just wanted to give her a little slap on the wrist and say that they were very, very reckless. And this is a person that we want to, well, not I, but they would like to see in the most powerful position in the United States.
If Donald Trump threatened to go to war with a major military power, do you think the media would be interested? Yet Hillary Clinton just did precisely that. And it's barely a footnote in the mainstream press. Take a look.
You've seen reports. Russia's hacked into a lot of things. China's hacked into a lot of things. Russia even hacked into the Democratic National Committee. Maybe even some state election systems. So we've got to step up our game. Make sure we are well defended and able to take the fight to those who go after us. As president, I will make it clear that the United States will treat cyber attacks just like any other attack. We will be ready with serious political, economic, and military responses.
In case you missed that, Hillary just said that the next time Russia is blamed for a hack, because there's no evidence whatsoever that they were behind the DNC hack, Hillary will fight them with a military response. Fighting with a military response. That sounds a heck of a lot like a threat of war to me. Threatening to declare war on Russia. You'd think that would be a big story, right? Yet virtually no big media outlet even highlighted it. Donald Trump has been savaged for being reckless with his words. Yet here we have Hillary openly invoking military conflict with a global superpower, and the media gives her a free pass. We've had a year of hysteria over Trump starting World War III and having control over the nuclear codes. But it's not Trump who's brazenly threatening another nuclear-armed country with war. It's Hillary Clinton. Clinton is crazy. She thinks Vladimir Putin is behind literally everything, from WikiLeaks email hacks to Trump to the rise of the alt-right, with zero evidence. But the media parrots it like it's gospel. She's also perfectly prepared to launch into wars that have disastrous consequences.
We came, we saw, he died. And I want the Iranians to know that if I'm the president, we will attack Iran. We would be able to totally obliterate them.
Hillary Clinton openly threatening war with Russia, and the media doesn't even report on it. But they'll continue to lecture us about how it's Trump who's being irresponsible with his rhetoric. Give me a break.
Well, here's something else that Hillary Clinton couldn't recall. She also wanted to build a wall. That's right. She mimicked Donald Trump here. She foreshadowed what Donald Trump was calling for, saying, let's build a wall and deport illegal immigrants.
There isn't any sensible approach except to do what we need to do simultaneously, secure our borders with technology, personnel, physical barriers if necessary in some places, and we need to have tougher employer sanctions, and we need to try to incentivize Mexico to do more, and we need to create the environment in which we get people out of the shadows and then give them some earned right to legalization.
So doesn't that sound an awful lot like Donald Trump's speech that he gave in Mexico City on Tuesday? Of course, Hillary Clinton heavily criticized Donald Trump and, of course, just reiterated the fact that there's no way Mexico is going to pay for a wall. They'll never they'll never stand for it. Well, here's something interesting. Just how would Mexico pay for this wall? Donald Trump is actually toying with the idea of using seized drug cartel money to pay for the border wall.
Trump came to Austin last week to solidify his stance on illegal immigration. He then flew to Mexico, where he did a two-man conference with Mexican President Peña Nieto, which was heralded as a great success across the hemisphere. Now, one major issue for Trump throughout his candidacy is securing the U.S.-Mexico border. Possibly using seized drug money to do this would be one way in which this wall is built. Now, something called a joint border security fund would be created by both Mexico and the U.S., depositing money that they've seized, law enforcement has seized from drug cartels, and money from the illicit drug trade alone last year topped $8.7 billion. One study says that these cartels are making as much as $30 billion a year doing these illegal drug runs, and Trump says that he could get this wall built for $8 to $10 billion. So it looks like he's going to be taking seized drug money from these cartels, putting it in a joint account that they've seized, and using it to build this wall.
Well, following a lot of outcry over its decision to demonetize videos with controversial content, YouTube, the way they responded was by doubling down, saying, sorry guys, whatever, we've been punishing people for years. So this is obviously a Google-owned platform. They recently released new advertiser-friendly guidelines that stipulate how discussion of controversial or sensitive subjects and events would be punished by the user being unable to collect advertising money on such videos. So this prompted huge backlash from the YouTube community. Many people saw it as a way to de-incentivize the creating of any videos that touch on contentious political or social issues, of course. But YouTube just insisted that they had already been punishing controversial opinions for years. They say we haven't changed its policy on which videos will have adverts attached to them since 2013. We've just merely improved the way it communicates with its users. So they recently improved the notification and appeals process, but that doesn't really explain why they have just demonetized many videos willy-nilly. We've had hundreds of our videos demonetized as well. A lot of YouTubers saw videos on subjects like depression and acne being demonetized, very controversial there. Videos on freedom of the press, of course, are a little too controversial, but big giant corporations like CNN, Sony Music Entertainment, and Universal Music Group, they can still put up their images of a Syrian boy covered in his own blood, or of course the sexually suggestive content that is coming out of a lot of these music videos. So they've obviously adopted a clear stance on who they're going to punish. This is exactly what Matt Drudge warned about when he appeared on the Alex Jones Show nearly a year ago. Creators allowing their content to be swallowed up by social media ghettos was always going to lead to this outcome.
Donna Brazil, Interman resident witch-in-chief, head of the DNC, taking Debbie Wasserman Schultz's place after that massive corruption scandal gone bad. She made some pretty explosive statements on CNN this week, too good to pass up. She says that Hillary Clinton was perfectly fine, nothing criminal about her pay-to-play activity as State Department head. Take a listen to this.
The way I look at it, I've been a government official. So, you know, this notion that somehow or another, someone who is a supporter, someone who's a donor, somebody who's an activist saying, I want access, I want to come into a room and I want to meet people, we often criminalize behavior that is normal, and I don't see what the smoke is.
Now, Brazil replaced one corrupt figurehead that now works for Hillary Clinton, and she seems to think that as a fellow politician, there is nothing wrong with paying for access to political officials. That's exactly what she said. It's normal. We all do it. Now, keep in mind, if there's any doubt that our system isn't corrupt, that it's non-transparent, take a listen to what this State Department official had to say, a wisecrack, if you will, when a reporter asked him about transparency in the State Department.
Good to see you in this exercise in transparency and democracy.
Is that what it is?
Now, if that hasn't made you sick already, those two, this is really reminiscent of what Obama said when he was questioned about, is our election system rigged? Take a listen.
I don't even really know where to start on answering this question. Of course the elections will not be rigged. What does that mean? The federal government doesn't run the election process. States and cities and communities all across the country they're the ones who set up the voting systems and the voting booths. And if Mr. Trump is suggesting that there is a conspiracy theory that is being propagated across the country, including in places like Texas, where typically it's not Democrats who are in charge of voting booths, that's ridiculous. That doesn't make any sense, and I don't think anybody would take that seriously.
Now, you think that's corrupt. Just wait until we get the dump of Hillary Clinton's emails. Those 15,000, the feds are reviewing them now. They're slated to be seen sometime around mid-October. And what they reveal next, who knows? But what we do know is our president is already on making sure that she's got this election in the bag. He says that he's sending UN monitors to monitor our U.S. election because we just can't trust ourselves with it. But hey, all well and good. Right, Donna Brazil? I'm Margaret Howe reporting for Infowars.com.
This is the answer for your children to totally absorb the multivitamins, the minerals, the amino acids, everything at once. Unveil Vitamin Mineral Fusion Advanced Multivitamin Formula, 30 servings, fruit punch flavored dietary supplement. It is simply amazing. Infowarslife.com.
There's a million different products like this out there that they're good in different ways. But this takes all of the vitamins, all of the essential amino acids, all of the essential compounds and minerals that you need, puts it into something that's great tasting as opposed to like clumpy, gross stuff. And you can put it in your drink every morning. I put it in my protein shake. It is the platinum standard, in my view, of multivitamins in terms of an advanced multi-drink vitamin.
The cleanest, the purest. New stuff had to be invented. That's why it took this long to even bring us something this good.
Some companies are going to take a small amount of vitamins and make it, so there's so much filler, it looks like there's a lot. This is ultra concentrated. We're not playing games here. Okay, this.
Well, that's my philosophy. That's your philosophy.
Yeah, this.
I want to, but again, there's some great stuff out there.
Yeah,
and there's other,
No, of course, definitely.
There's other powders I promote at InfoWarsHealth.com. Yeah, they're excellent. I mean, there's some good stuff out there. This is just the very best we can bring you, and when you buy it, you support InfoWars, you support the reporters, you support yourself. Tell folks about some of these other things that are in this and why this is just this total, complete package for your body. Because, again, we didn't put the synthetic amino acids. We didn't put the synthetic vitamins. We put the plant-based, high-quality, clean, natural ingredients into this.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got your standard vitamins, vitamin C, vitamin E, the list goes on.
A huge amount of vitamin C, by the way. Tell folks about that.
1,000+% of your daily value, which is what you need. Because the, FDA guidelines, we all know about those. Zinc, magnesium, selenium, L-glutamine. Each one of these you could go on for about 10 minutes about the benefits of these things. Alpha-lipoic acid, folic acid, calcium, and the list goes on. 34 other ones you can check out. Go to InfoWarsLife.com, the label's up there. You've got the entire ingredients list that you can neurotically examine for yourself. And just... By
the way, look on the other side, too, because we're showing people the... minerals and things. Let's look at the vitamins right there, all it's got in there. I mean, it's amazing.
Top left.
Again, if you're radio listeners, Infowars.com/show. Vitamin A has 4,333% from beta carotene and what's that other source? I just know that's all the best sources.
Retinol. So you've also got your vitamin D at 1,000 IU, which is a large dose, actually. And you know what? Some people could say, well, isn't this competing with your other products? Well, yeah, you know what? We could be like some people and just take all the stuff that we sell also at InfoWarsLife.com and not put any of it, but then it wouldn't be a balanced formula, and we're not going to do that. And it might actually hurt us in the long run to put all the best stuff in here, but that's just the way we got to do it, because we can't start thinking like that.
So get them today, InfoWarsLife.com, or call toll-free 888-253-3139.